So we're going to break the norm a little bit. So Shree is not really a student anymore. She's a colleague. She's a postdoctoral fellow at the Plate Lab. And she's been fantastic as an intellectual in the lab, discussing many different things. Among them, the project that she's coming to work on, which is the Games and Health project. Her PhD was on games and learning, and specifically game modding. And so her experience with learning and looking at learning and health was really a great mix to come to the project. So without further ado.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for the nice introduction. So today I'm going to be talking briefly about our ongoing projects. Ongoing project of designing social media games for health. This project is in collaboration with faculty from Health Sciences, Carmen Skepa and Maria Shiko from Counseling and Applied Ed Psych, and also another PhD students from CCIS here on campus. And we are also partnering with a game company, Ignite Play, based at Vancouver, who made this, is designing and refining the design as we conduct the research as well for this health-based game. Quickly, to point out, the core motivation for the project obviously stemmed from two persistent upward trends regarding health in the States. Rising healthcare costs, particularly related to weight gain and poor health management. And also at the same time, this upward trend in the early adoption or increased usage of mobile-based health apps. So these two drivers were informed partly the research project. The focus basically was to leverage social media networks and games to encourage and sustain behaviors related to healthy living. Many in the games research community already are increasingly acknowledging that games are more than an entertainment medium. So more and more work points to the fact that games can leverage the transformational impacts of play to improve quality of living, health, or learning. My Spa Resort is a game in similar vein that incorporates many such design principles and philosophies and structures rewards and mini games within the context of running a virtual spa. The goal of the game is to encourage players to make healthy choices about food and exercise behaviors. Playing the game entails doing real-world activities like quests, like enjoying a fruit, doing an outdoor activity, and while also doing some in-game activities like with the aesthetics of the game, planting trees, placing new buildings and artifacts in your spa. The game also includes several mini games that you could be playing. These are just a couple of examples of mini games, and there are more in the similar vein in the game itself. The game includes personalized visualization, rewarding intrinsically motivating activities, such as charts depicting your progress in the game and in real life. For example, how much did you level up? While that is motivating, but also knowing how much active you've been during that week. So our research basically has a two-step goal. First, to establish acceptability of the game and find out if or how players engage with the content of the game, and then come up with the recommended design changes. In the second phase, our focus will be to validate if in fact playing the game affects participants' real choices regarding health and eating. For phase one, we currently have 18 participants recruited in the study who are all NU undergraduates. And the upcoming slides are some information about the demographics and some baseline information regarding their health, exercise habits, food choices, and gaming behavior. I sampled out a couple questions from the surveys that we gave out before they started the project, just to give a sense of the gender breakdown and how frequently they worked out in a week, and their eating habits in terms of vegetables and fruit intake, and how often they played video games, which is really high. In addition, we also are trying to come up with a methodological marriage between game telemetry data that's being collected about showing their quest completion patterns, how much time they take to complete, if or not those quests are repeated, while and also their leveling patterns, while marrying that content through weekly interviews in order to identify particular data points that we see by visualizing game telemetry data. So for example, for frequently repeated quests, we kind of question like why players tended to log in at the same time. And some of the themes that have been coming up recently are like over a majority of the participants reported choosing the quests that they do that aligned more closely to their daily routine. This was something that's been a commonly recurrent theme as well in the interviews. Participants considered leveling up without actually having done the activities in the physical life as cheating, and often describe that the game tends to operate on an honor system. Moving forward, we are also trying to conceive how play is perceived when it directly connects to your day-to-day routine, and if or how in the second phase we would more likely see does playing the game in fact perpetuate real change when it comes to modifying your behaviors regarding eating or exercise. Finally, I would conclude with some of the stuff that's been ongoing, a lot of writing work and a lot of pending reviews that have been submitted. And it's 2 months into the project, so I can't really talk much about the findings yet, but that's about it. Yeah. Thank you.